I packed your shirts the way you like. The ones with the crisp collars are at the top. Ethan didn't look up. Thanks. Just thanks. No smile, no kiss, not even a glance. I swallowed and forced one of my own. Do you want me to drive you to the airport? I already called a car. Of course he did. I sat on the edge of the bed, pretending to smooth out his folded blazer. You'll call me when you land, right? He finally looked at me, but there was a flicker of something else in his eyes. Guilt? Annoyance? Maybe I imagined it. I'll try. It's a tight schedule. I nodded like it didn't matter. Still, even just a text would be nice. He zipped his suitcase without answering. I told myself it was just stress. He always got quiet before trips. That didn't mean he didn't love me, right? You didn't forget your charger again, did you? I asked, standing. No, I got it. I watched him check his phone, his thumbs moving fast. A smile tugged at the corner of his lips. But it wasn't meant for me. Who are you texting? Work stuff. Work. Always work. I didn't ask more. I didn't want to know. When the car honked outside, he grabbed his bag and walked toward the door. Wait. I rushed to him, hugging him from behind. Be safe, okay? He hesitated. Then his hand came up and patted mine, like you'd comfort a child. I'll be back in 3 days. I pulled back just enough to kiss his cheek. He didn't kiss me back, just opened the door. I love you, I whispered as he stepped out. He didn't say it back. I stood in the doorway long after the car drove off, my arms folded tightly around myself. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe he just didn't like goodbyes. Maybe I was lying to myself again. I walked back in, the silence of the apartment crawling over my skin like cold mist. His scent still lingered in the hallway. That expensive cologne I bought him last Christmas, the one he never used until this year, the one I now hated. My phone buzzed. I rushed to grab it. Call me later. That was all the message said. No heart emoji. No, miss you already? Just instructions. I sat down on the couch, stared at the text, and felt a small crack open inside me. I ignored it. I always ignored it. Later that evening, I called Aunt May. You sound tired, sweetheart, she said the moment she answered. I'm fine. You always say that when you're not. I sighed. He left for New York this afternoon. Aunt May didn't need the rest of the story. And he barely looked at you, didn't he? I think he's just stressed. Work's been crazy. You make too many excuses for that man. I rubbed my forehead. I know. There was a pause, and her voice softened. You've been waiting on him for what? 8 years now? 7.5. Darlin', that half year doesn't make it prettier. I smiled weakly. Maybe he'll propose soon? Or maybe he's taking you for granted. Has it ever occurred to you that he knows you'll never leave? That shut me up. I'm sorry, she said gently, but you've poured yourself into him like he's a bottomless glass. Has he ever poured anything back? He used to. When? Back in college? I stared at the blank TV screen. Baby, she continued, a man who loves you doesn't make you beg for his attention. I'm not begging. There was silence again. Okay, maybe I am, I admitted. She didn't say I told you so. She didn't have to. I hung up a few minutes later and wandered into the kitchen. I opened the fridge, closed it, opened it again. I wasn't hungry. I just wanted something to fill the emptiness. The clock ticked too loudly. I tried watching a show we used to love, but every joke felt hollow. I reached for my phone a dozen times and set it down every time. By midnight, I gave up and curled into his side of the bed. I stared at the ceiling, my chest aching in ways I couldn't explain. Something was wrong. I felt it in my bones, but I pushed the thought away like I always did. He was mine. He'd come back. He just needed time. And I just needed to wait. Because that's what I did best. My phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Ethan. Blocked number. No message, just 3 photos. I stared at them. Him, her, laughing, holding hands, kissing in front of a hotel I didn't recognize. No explanation, no context, just undeniable truth staring back at me. I called Sophie. She picked up fast. You okay? I just got sent something. What kind of something? Photos of Ethan with a woman. She was quiet for a second. Can you send them to me? I forwarded them, my hands shaking. Her voice dropped. That's the Sheridan in Midtown. That's not where he said he'd be. I swallowed hard. You're sure? I've stayed there. That background? That's the rooftop bar. My chest squeezed. He said he was at a conference downtown. Look at her, though. The way she's holding him. That's not a coworker. I know. Are you okay? No. I stared at the screen again. Her long fingers on his chest, his smile, the way he looked at her. I had never seen him look at me like that. I should call him, I whispered. No, don't. I just want to hear his voice. Why? So he can lie again? I bit my lip. What if it's not what it looks like? You know it is. I didn't reply. Sophie sighed. Look, come over. Don't sit alone with that. I don't think I can move. You don't have to talk. Just sit with me. I need time. You need the truth, and you already have it. I hung up and dialed Ethan, straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. Again. Still nothing. I texted him. Can you call me? No reply. Another photo came through. Her in his lap now, in the same damn hotel. I felt my heart break, loud and silent at the same time. I grabbed a pillow and screamed into it until my throat hurt. Then I called him again. This time he answered. What? He said, flatly. I blinked. That's how you answer me? I'm in a meeting. It's late. A dinner meeting? With her? What are you talking about? I got pictures. Silence. You're at the Sheraton, right? More silence. I know you're not downtown, Ethan. He finally spoke. Who sent them? That's what you're worried about? Whoever's doing this is trying to mess with us. I laughed. Cold. Empty. Us? There hasn't been an us in years. Don't be dramatic. I saw your hand on her waist. I saw her kissing you. You don't know the context. She's not your assistant, is she? He exhaled. You've always been insecure. I'm not insecure. I'm finally seeing clearly. You're overreacting. I've underreacted for 8 years. Are you going to throw everything away over some pictures? You already did. He was quiet again. I whispered, was she worth it? I didn't plan for it to happen. That's not an answer. It just happened. I let the silence fall between us like a chasm. I could hear his breathing on the other end. Calm, careful, calculated. I don't even know who I am to you anymore. I said softly, you're the one at home. Yeah, I said, the one you left. He hung up. No goodbye, no apology, just the empty click of disconnection. I dropped the phone. My chest felt heavy, my vision blurred. The tears came in waves. I curled up on the floor, knees to my chest, and cried until my voice disappeared. Aunt May called. I didn't answer. She called again. I picked up. Sweetheart? I couldn't speak. I had a feeling. Is it Ethan? I sobbed. Oh, baby, I'm coming over. No, please, I need to be alone. Then I'm staying on the phone. She didn't speak. Just listened to me breathe, cry, break. I don't know how long we stayed like that. At some point I whispered, what did I do wrong? You love too hard. Is that a crime? No, she said, but sometimes it makes you a target. I didn't reply. You're not crazy, you know, she said gently. You saw it, you felt it, and now it's real. I should have trusted my gut. You didn't want it to be true? No, I whispered. I wanted him to love me back. I didn't sleep. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, trying to feel something other than shame. But it clung to me like a second skin. By morning, I still hadn't moved. The sunlight poured in like nothing had changed. But everything had. Sophie texted. Still breathing? I typed, then deleted. Typed again. Yeah, barely. She replied instantly, I'm coming over. Before I could protest, my doorbell rang. I opened the door in the oversized shirt Ethan once said looked cute on me. I didn't care. Sophie walked in, took one look at me and sighed. "You look like a ghost." "I feel like one." She handed me a coffee. "Here, Liquid Life." I took it and sat on the couch. I didn't sleep. "No kidding." I kept thinking he'd call again. He won't. I stared at the steam curling from the cup. He chose her. No, he chose himself. I blinked. What's the difference? He didn't do it for love. He did it because he thought he could get away with it. I shook my head slowly. I always knew, Soph. Deep down, I knew. Then why stay? I was scared to be alone. She nodded. Most people are. I thought, if I loved him hard enough, he'd come around. Love doesn't work that way, babe. It's not a reward system. I was loyal. He wasn't. I looked at her, voice cracking. Then why do I still feel like I'm the one who failed? Because you built your whole life around him. She wasn't wrong. I don't know who I am without him. She reached for my hand. Then maybe it's time to find out. I stared at her, something shifting inside me, something small but sharp. What if I don't like who I find? Then you change her, but first, you meet her. I smiled weakly. You sound like a therapist. I Googled a lot of breakup advice last night. I laughed, barely, but it was real. Thanks. For the jokes or the coffee? Both. She stood. Take a shower. I'll stay while you do. I don't want to move. I know, but do it anyway. I nodded. The hot water hit my skin, and I just stood there, letting it soak my tangled hair, run down my shoulders, rinse off a version of myself that no longer fit. When I stepped out and looked in the mirror, I didn't cry. I didn't smile either. But something was different. I pulled on clean clothes. Not for him, for me. Sophie was scrolling on her phone. She looked up. Wow, human detected. Barely. You gonna be okay? I don't know. That's fair. I sat beside her. What do I do now? Whatever the hell you want. I thought for a moment. I want to stop waiting. Then stop. I nodded slowly. I want to stop asking why he didn't love me. Because he didn't even love himself. I want to stop apologizing for needing more. Then take more. The words hit deep. I exhaled. I feel empty. You're not empty. You're just drained. Big difference. My phone buzzed. Ethan. Hope you're feeling better. I stared at it. No apology, no explanation, just neutral concern. Sophie leaned over. Don't answer. I won't. I deleted the message without replying. She blinked. Holy crap, you actually did it. Something broke in me last night. And that's a good thing. Is it? Yeah, because maybe now you'll finally build something better. I looked down at my hands. I want to. Then you will. I stood up and walked to the window. The morning looked fresh, the way it always had, but I was seeing it for the first time. I think I died last night, I said softly. She didn't flinch. Good. I turned back to her. Good? Sometimes something has to die so you can finally live. I sat back down and whispered, I don't love him anymore. You sure? I thought for a long second. No, but I want to be sure, and that's a start. The key turned in the lock. I didn't even bother to look up. Ethan stepped in, suitcase thudding against the doorframe. I sat on the couch with my legs tucked under me, flipping through a book I wasn't reading. He blinked. You're not at work? Nope. His eyes scanned the room. It's quiet. I know. He set the suitcase down. No dinner? I already ate. His brows twitched, like he didn't expect that. You didn't wait? I didn't know I was supposed to. He took a breath. Okay. Silence again. I turned a page slowly, still not looking at him. Something's off, he muttered. I finally glanced up. Is it? You're acting different. Maybe I am. He frowned. Is this about the photos? No, I said flatly. It's about 8 years of not being seen. Come on. No, you come on, Ethan. You walk in here like I'm supposed to be waiting with open arms and homemade lasagna. You thought I'd just act like nothing happened? He rubbed his jaw. You could have at least said something before I got back. What would that have changed? I don't know. Something. I stood up, setting the book aside. I needed space. I gave it to myself. He studied me like I was someone unfamiliar. So what now? I'm not sure. His tone shifted, low and careful. I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did. I know. I folded my arms. You didn't even deny it. Because it was true. Why? He hesitated. I don't know. That's not good enough. I didn't plan to fall for her. Did you ever plan to love me? His mouth opened, then closed. I nodded slowly. Yeah, that's what I thought. He moved closer, cautious. I didn't come here to fight. And I didn't wait here to beg. He looked down. I just got back. Can we talk tomorrow? Why? So you can figure out what version of the truth works best? His jaw tightened. That's not fair. No, Ethan. What's not fair is everything I gave that you barely noticed. He dragged a hand through his hair. I thought we were fine. You thought I was fine being invisible. He didn't reply. I stepped past him and opened the window. The air smelled like rain. He stared at me. So, you're what now? Leaving? No. You left a long time ago. I'm just catching up. I'm here now. I shook my head. You came back to a version of me that doesn't exist anymore. He looked around. Why does the place feel cold? Because it doesn't belong to a woman clinging to a man anymore. His voice cracked. Don't say that. Why not? You loved me silent. You should love me honest. He stepped toward me, but I didn't move. I miss how things were, he said. You miss the control. That's not fair. Neither was staying loyal to someone who wasn't. He sighed. Look, I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. You made a choice. He lowered his voice. I didn't think you'd change. That's your real problem, I said. You thought I'd always stay the same. He blinked. I came home because I wanted to fix this. No, you came home because you thought I'd still be here, waiting. Aren't you? I laughed bitterly. Not the way you hoped. He looked around again. Where's your stuff? I tilted my head. Why? Because it's not in the usual places. I let the pause hang before I answered. I've been packing slowly. His face dropped. You're serious? Dead serious? You're moving out? I'm moving on. Where are you even going? I don't owe you that answer. You can't just walk away. I looked him straight in the eyes. Watch me. She posted a story again. Sophie shoved the phone in front of my face. I don't care, I said. You will once you see it. I glanced at the screen. FL, same hotel room, same wine glasses I used to buy, same shirt Ethan wore last Christmas, one I gifted him. I stared, silent. She's using your life as a prop, Sophie muttered. She's got your man, your spaces, your everything. No, I said slowly. She doesn't have me. She raised an eyebrow. That is the first time I've heard you say that and actually believe it. I stood and grabbed my keys. Come with me. Where are we going? His office. Sophie blinked. You're serious? I want to see something. See what? If she has the guts to look me in the eye. 15 minutes later, we walked into the building like we owned it. The receptionist gave me a polite nod. He's in a meeting. With her? She hesitated. Yes, of course. Can you tell him I'm here? She looked unsure. Do you want me to interrupt? I smiled. Absolutely. A few minutes later, the door opened. There she was. Perfect curls, red lipstick, wearing a blouse I'd once picked for Ethan's ex-client dinner. Her eyes met mine. Calm, confident, calculated. Hi, she said, voice soft and fake sweet. Hello, I replied, just as fake. Ethan followed behind her. What are you doing here? I came to talk. FL smiled. I'll give you two a moment. Don't bother, I said, eyes locked on her. Stay. Ethan looked between us. What's going on? I just wanted to meet the woman who thought I was disposable. She smiled wider. I never said that. You didn't have to. She tilted her head. You two were on a break, weren't you? My jaw tightened. Is that what he told you? She shrugged. He said you were emotionally distant. Sophie let out a sharp laugh. Wow, gaslighting 101. Ethan stepped in. Can we not do this here? I didn't come to fight, I said, keeping my voice even. I came to see the show up close. FL crossed her arms. You act like I stole him. You didn't steal him. You borrowed him. The trash takes itself out eventually. Her smile slipped. That's mature. Truth usually is. She turned to Ethan. Are you just going to let her talk to me like this? He looked frozen, uncomfortable, small, for once. I think she's earned it, Sophie muttered. I stepped closer. You can keep him. All his silence, all his emotional void. The version of him I loved died long before you ever showed up. FL blinked but said nothing. And one day, I continued, you'll look at him the way I used to, with hope, with need, and he'll stare past you like you're glass, and you'll realize he was never anyone's to keep. Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. I didn't ask for this scene. No, I said. You asked for a woman who wouldn't question your emptiness. FL turned back to him. Is this really over with her? He looked at me. I didn't flinch. It is now. She smirked. Good. Then we can stop pretending. I nodded. Exactly. I'm done pretending. She opened her mouth again, but I was already walking out. Sophie followed me into the elevator. That was savage. That was overdue. She grinned. I almost felt bad for them. I didn't respond. As the elevator doors closed, I caught one last glimpse of Ethan standing in the hallway. He looked lost. But I wasn't his home anymore. You haven't been home all week. Ethan stood by the kitchen counter, arms crossed. I noticed, I said, tossing my keys into the bowl by the door. You ignoring me now? No, just choosing where I give my energy. He scoffed. So this is what, your rebellion phase? No, this is my freedom phase. His voice rose. Why are you doing this? I stopped chasing someone who never stopped running. I never ran. You never stayed either. He stepped closer. We can fix this. I laughed once. You're just afraid now that I'm no longer convenient. That's not true, isn't it? He looked away. You're dressing different, going out more, posting photos. I'm living. With who? I smirked. Why do you care? Because we're engaged. I held up my hand. The ring was gone. We were. His face fell. You took it off? It meant nothing? To me it did. Then why did you throw me away so easily? His jaw clenched. I made a mistake. You made a choice, repeatedly. I didn't think you'd ever leave. There it is, he blinked. What? You didn't think I'd find the strength, but I did. He stared at me like I was someone else. And in a way, I was. You've been cold, he said quietly. I've been healing. He stepped forward. You don't even talk to me. Because you stopped listening a long time ago. I still love you. No, I said. You love the idea of me, the girl who cooked, cleaned, stayed quiet. That's not fair. Neither was betraying me. He didn't speak. I grabbed a water from the fridge. I'm not mad anymore, Ethan. You're not? No, I'm indifferent. That's worse, isn't it? His eyes softened. I just want to go back. I don't. His voice cracked. You don't miss me? I miss who I thought you were, not who you turned out to be. He looked around the apartment. It feels empty. It feels peaceful. His hand reached out but stopped short. So this is it? I already left, Ethan. Emotionally. You just didn't notice. I noticed. I just didn't think it was real. It is now. He paced. What about all our plans? You mean the ones I made while you pretended to care? I cared. You hid a whole relationship. I ended it. Not before you broke me. He flinched. I sipped my water. It's too late. I'll change. I did. He sat down, defeated. So you're not coming back? There's nothing to come back to. He looked up at me. You look happy. I'm getting there. Are you seeing someone? I raised a brow. You don't get to ask that. His shoulders slumped. I deserve that. Yes, you do. Silence. Then he whispered, I never thought I'd lose you. I tilted my head. That was your first mistake. You might want to sit down, Cassie said, stepping into the cafe like she was holding a bomb. I already ordered tea. That bad? She slid into the booth across from me, eyes wide. I saw Ethan. I'm not shocked. With her. I blinked. Still? He was buying a ring. My heart paused. For her? Cassie nodded slowly. I wasn't trying to spy, he didn't see me. But I saw the box, and the look on his face. I swallowed. Was he happy? She hesitated. He looked certain. I stirred my tea, quiet. I guess that makes it real. I thought you should know. Thank you. Cassie leaned forward. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this. I know. She touched my hand briefly. You gonna be okay? I think so. That night, I started packing in silence. Not in anger, in clarity. Every drawer I closed felt like closure. Every photo I removed from the wall felt like freedom. I didn't cry. I didn't pause. Until the front door creaked open. Why are you packing? Ethan's voice. I turned around. Calm. I thought it was obvious. He stepped in. We haven't even talked. You're proposing to her. His jaw tensed. Who told you? Does it matter? That's not how I wanted you to find out. Was I supposed to smile when you told me? He paced. I didn't even buy it for her. I just looked. Stop lying. He froze. I know you, Ethan. Or I used to. His voice cracked. I haven't proposed. Yet. He grabbed a chair, sat. Why does this feel like the end? Because it is. I didn't think you'd really leave. You thought I'd always be the girl who stayed no matter what. He looked around. Where will you go? Somewhere quiet? Somewhere new? And just leave everything behind? No, I said. I'm taking myself with me this time. He stood abruptly. I don't want you to go. You don't get to want things anymore. He ran a hand through his hair. This is insane. What is? You, this new version. So cold. No, I said. I'm just done burning myself to keep you warm. He stepped toward me. I miss you. You miss the convenience of me. You were never just convenient. Then why replace me so easily? He opened his mouth. No words came out. That's what I thought. His voice dropped. I chose wrong. And now you live with it. He grabbed my wrist. Please, don't go. I looked him in the eye. Let me go, Ethan. It's all you've ever done. He called the next morning. 5 times. I didn't answer. Then the texts came. Please talk to me. I didn't mean to hurt you. Just tell me where you are. I tossed the phone aside and kept folding clothes. Later, he showed up, knocking, then pounding. I opened the door slowly. Where have you been? He demanded. I needed space. You disappeared. You pushed me out long before I walked out. He stepped in without asking. You can't just vanish like that. I did. I've been losing my mind. I raised an eyebrow. Good. That's cruel. No, that's honest. He stared at me, desperate. You really left me. I left the moment you chose her. I made a mistake. You made a move. There's a difference. I ended it with her. That's between you and your guilt. He stepped closer. She meant nothing. You don't get to minimize what broke me. He stopped. What do I say to make this right? Nothing. He blinked. Nothing? I don't need words. I needed respect. I needed loyalty. And you gave me neither. He ran a hand over his face. So what now? I finished packing. He looked around the room. This doesn't feel real. It is. You used to cry when we argued. I ran out of tears. He lowered his voice. You used to beg me to stay. I know. His shoulders dropped. I didn't think you'd actually change. That's because you never saw me as someone capable of leaving. I do now. Too late? He stepped forward, voice cracking. I still love you. I stared at him for a long second. I don't care. Silence. He whispered, You used to. I used to set myself on fire to keep you warm. I didn't ask for that. You didn't stop it either. He looked around again. So this is it? This is freedom. I never thought you could be this cold. No, I said. I'm just done being soft where I should have been strong. I'm sorry. I know. I mean it. I don't. He took a shaky breath. Please don't leave me. I walked past him, opened the closet, and pulled out another box. My silence said more than his begging ever could. 6 months later, I didn't flinch at his name. The city was new. The apartment was small, but it was mine. I watered the little plant by the window. Sophie said it reminded her of me. Quiet, but stubborn. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I stared at the screen. Then a message lit up. I still think about you. I miss what we had. I didn't respond. I made tea, sat by the window, let the quiet fill me instead of ache. Another message came. I made a mistake. I was wrong. I blocked the number. That version of me, the girl who waited, who begged, who hoped for breadcrumbs, she was gone. Sophie called. You okay? I am. Really? Really. Guess who I ran into at the bookstore? I smiled. Don't say his name. He looked like hell. I'm sure he did. You still think about him? I think about who I was with him. And I never want to be her again. She paused. That's growth. That's rebirth. I heard her grin. You sound peaceful. I feel peaceful. Proud of you, babe. Thanks for never giving up on me. Someone had to remind you of your worth. We hung up. I stood, walked to the mirror. I didn't see heartbreak anymore. I saw healing. My reflection didn't ask questions like, why wasn't I enough? Or, what did I do wrong? She knew the answers now. I opened the window. The breeze was soft. Honest. A knock came at the door. My new neighbor stood there, holding a box. This yours? Oh, yes. Thanks. He smiled. You just moved in. A couple months ago. Fresh start? The freshest. He chuckled. Well, welcome to the building. I'm Liam. I shook his hand. Nice to meet you. He hesitated. Can I ask, are you okay? I blinked. Why? Sometimes people look like they're trying to forget something. I smiled softly. I'm not trying to forget. I'm just finally remembering who I am. He nodded. That's powerful. I think so too. He handed me the box. See you around? Yeah, I said. You will. I closed the door and leaned against it. No butterflies, no rush, just a calm heart. I didn't need a new man to feel whole. I had myself, and I liked her.